Hi, friends. It's Melissa Taylor with Our Father's House of Worship. Today's devotional is going to be focused on freedom from emotional struggle. Now, what is emotional struggle? Emotional struggle could be anything from an anxiety issue, from depression, from regret, guilt, resentment, anger, fears, hurt, shame, anything like that. Inner conflicts that we have where we want to be someone and do something, yet we seem to not be able to do it, right? Like Paul says, everything I want to do, I don't do, and the things I don't want to do, I do. Well, those are all forms of emotional struggle and emotional internal turmoil. And I love the passage in Romans 12:2 that says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. There's so many parts in the Bible that talk about our mind and the renewing of our mind and how it leads to victory. And when we renew our minds, we can really be victorious in our faith. However, we can't be victorious if we don't know who we are in Christ. Now, you may have heard over and over again, know who you are in Christ, know who you are in Christ. I know I've been hearing that pretty much my whole life, but I didn't really understand what that means. So today I'm going to share with you one way that you can enhance your identity in Christ so that you can have more freedom in your life and less emotional struggle. So I want to share with you a diagram that's really a great way to come see how our identity affects our behaviors and the way that we feel about ourselves. And I'm going to share with you how you can apply this model to your life. Let me explain to you a little bit about this logical levels pyramid. It's made by someone named Robert Dilts, who is an expert in neuro-linguistic programming, changing your thought patterns in your mind. You look at from the bottom up. So our environment is at the bottom, and our environment is our physical environment, where we are physically, our house, our job, anywhere we put ourselves in, that's our environment. If you look above that, it's our behavior, what we say, what we do, how we perform, our actions, our reactions. And then above that is our capabilities, what we believe that we're capable of. It could be knowledge, skills, competencies, the way that we show up with these skills. And what we believe is above that, our beliefs and values, the why, what we hold true, right or wrong. Our values can also be things like the things that are important to us, like our family, God, friends, money, job, etc. And above that is our identity, who we are, how we think of ourselves. And above that is purpose, the greater picture, our relationship to the greater purpose and picture in our lives. So if you look at this pyramid, we often try to change everything on the bottom first. We often try to change our environment. Well, maybe if I just have a different partner or a different job or a different house or a different neighborhood or a different state, I will be happier. Or maybe we can say above that, if I change my behavior, oh, I could just try to eat healthier, or I could try to just be nicer, or I can try to forgive people. And our behavior comes off in an external way. However, those are all determined by our internal capabilities, our values, our identities. So what we believe we're capable of and our skill set. And say it's giving a presentation. Do I feel capable to give this presentation? Do I feel knowledgeable to teach on this topic? Do I feel capable even as a partner? Do I feel capable as a church member even? Do I feel worthy to be here? And all of that comes from our beliefs and our values. Well, if you believe that you're an unworthy person, if you believe that you're a terrible sinner, if you believe that you're not worthy of God's love, then all of the things underneath it can't really change, because we often try to change our environment, behavior, and capabilities first, and you just keep moving around and just trying new things and changing everything in your environment. But on the inside, your beliefs, your values are still the same. You may still feel like you're an unworthy, terrible person. You may still believe that there's nothing better for you. You may believe that God has a purpose for other people, but not for you. You may believe that God redeems others, but not for you. Now, if you have those beliefs and you hold that to be true, how does that change the way and affect the way that you behave, the way that you feel you're capable of, and your environment. We often keep ourselves in situations that are not healthy or not good, or maybe because of what's going on internally, everything in our environment can seem off. So we often try to fix the things that are external. We often try to fix our behavior in our environment and maybe get more skill set. Maybe, oh, I just need to learn this other thing, and I need to learn this other thing, and I need just more skills, and then I could be good enough. But oftentimes we have to change from the top down. We have to change our beliefs and values first. We have to change even above that, our identity. Because if you don't know who you are in Christ, you as a believer are going to behave and believe and be capable of and put yourselves in situations that are not congruent to your beliefs, and all those things underneath. You're not going to be aligned with God's purpose for your life if you just try to change everything from this bottom pyramid down. So in order to change how we show up for other people, in order to change our behavior towards one another, in order to be in an environment which is conducive to our growth, we have to change our beliefs about who we are in Christ. So our beliefs and our identities. And if you believe that you are a daughter of Christ, a son in Christ, then you will behave differently. Your beliefs will be aligned with your identity. If you know that you are redeemed in Christ, if you are a daughter of Christ, if you are a son of Christ, how will that affect your belief about yourself? Will you still believe that you're a terrible person that doesn't deserve blessings, or that other people are more worthy than you? No, because your identity is strong in who you are in Christ. And if you know who you are in Christ and those beliefs are aligned with your identity, then how do you believe you're capable of behaving in the world? How do you believe that you are capable of showing up for others? How does your behavior change? How do you act towards those who are also sinners? How do you act towards those who are different from you? How do you act towards those who don't treat you the way that you need to be treated or want to be treated? How does that change how you forgive other people and also yourself? And then what environment are you putting yourself in? Because you know who you are in Christ, you can adjust your environment accordingly. So you may stop hanging out with the people that used to get you into a lot of trouble, the people who used to bring you down, or those situations that were tempting for you. You will change all of these things if you know who your identity is in Christ. And when you know who you are in Christ, you also can connect to your higher purpose, which is that bigger picture in life. What is your purpose in Christ? And if you don't know what that is, I encourage you to pray, to meditate, to read the Bible, because the more that you study the word, the more you're going to know who you are in Christ. You're going to know what God believes for you and what he doesn't. You're going to know what God expects of you and what he doesn't. You're going to know who you are because you know who God is, and you know that all of God's promises are also applying to you. And so as you pray and ask and meditate, which is listening, and read and study the word, you will then begin to have more discernment, more understanding of your purpose in life and God's greater purpose for you. And when you know God's greater purpose for you and you know who you are in Christ, then all of those things underneath it will change. Your beliefs and values will begin to shift. Your capabilities will begin to shift. Your behavior will shift, and so will your environment. And I want to end with this passage. How can two walk together unless they agree? Amos 3:3. You can't have two things existing at once, that you believe that you are a daughter or son of Christ and also believe that you're not forgivable, or that you can't be redeemed from your pain or from your suffering, because God has those promises for you. And all he asks for you to do is to confess your struggles to him. Give him your burdens. He'll make your burdens light, because his yoke is easy, as it says in the Bible. Because the more you agree with God about your identity in Christ, the more your behavior will begin to reflect your God-given identity. So know who you are in Christ, and really, in order to know that, you have to know Christ. So I encourage you to study who Christ is, who God believes you to be in him. Study his promises, study the word, meditate and pray. Thanks so much for watching, and may God bless you guys.